All right, good morning, everybody. So, as you're getting into your research paper, you have to begin to do research. And you're required to have at least 5 sources. 2 of those have to be from academic journals. So, today, what I'm going to do is show you how to find those. This assignment asks you to watch 2 videos, the one that you're watching right now, and also the SMC Library website tour. So the SMC Library has its own YouTube channel, and this is the tour video narrated by Bren Antrim, our amazing research librarian. And this really takes you through all of the different ways in which you can search on the SMC Library in order to find sources. I'm going to take you through a search that I would do if I was doing this assignment. So as I said in the previous video, this assignment is all about whatever is interesting to you right now. What are you reading about? What are you watching videos about? What podcasts are you listening to? So right now, for me, I'm really interested in decolonizing education. Right? So maybe that's an unfamiliar term, but it is just basically what I'm most focused on right now as an educator. So where I would begin is where I begin all things, the SMC Library website, which is actually my homepage, because I spend a lot of time here doing research. And I'm going to start by looking at the databases. SMC subscribes to a bunch of different databases that compile the articles that appear in academic journals. So what you could do is look at all databases, look at ebooks, or if you're doing an art history or an architecture paper, business, health sciences, literature, social sciences, science. These are all the different categories of databases that we have. Since I'm interested in decolonizing education, I'm going to look under the social sciences umbrella. Some of these things appear under multiple umbrellas because they have different kinds of articles in them. Academic Search Complete is good, but sometimes it gives you things from newspapers and magazines, so they're not necessarily always scholarly sources. And there are a lot of different things here, but we have something called ERIC, the Educational Resource Information Center. And since I'm interested in decolonizing in education, that's going to be the database that I search through. You might start in a different place. Okay, and the easiest thing to do is just to type in a search term and search. So if you begin with a really broad term like this, you might end up with 10,000 search results. If you do, they have ways of refining your search right over here on the left. So one thing you can do is limit it to peer-reviewed journals. And that means that all of those sources are scholarly and they will satisfy the scholarly requirement for this essay. For me, 84 wasn't that much to actually look through, and now it's limited to 75. Another thing you can do is refine the publication date. So if you have articles going back to the 60s or 1904, you can pump that up to just 2000 or more recently, depending on what you're writing about. You can limit it to academic journals by clicking there. You can also limit it by subject. So what this does is it opens up all of the different subjects that articles like this are indexed under, and you can just click on one and it will limit it to just those, and it'll show you. If you click on, only educational change, then you'll only have 10 sources. So, but for me, I'm just going to scroll through what they have, and you'll see that they highlight the term that I was looking for. All of these are interesting. Decolonizing Othello as an English professor, that might be an interesting thing to do. But I've actually already gone through this search, and I know there are a couple of articles that I found pretty interesting. So one thing to notice is that it will tell you right here what kind of article it is. So it tells you it's an academic journal, so we know that this is going to satisfy that requirement for this essay. It'll also tell you how you can view it. You can look at it as an HTML full text or a PDF full text. So you can read all of these online without having to go to the library, which obviously we can't do. Let's see. Okay, so this is the article that I was looking at earlier that I found interesting. And if you click on this, it's going to pull up the catalog listing for it. It tells you who the author is, what the source is, when it was published, 2013. Is it peer reviewed? Yes, it is. And it gives you a bunch of other descriptors or subjects. So one thing you can do is look through these and be like, oh, okay, so maybe decolonizing isn't the best thing I can search for, or maybe I can add other subject terms. So if you were to do another search, you might add something like, let's see, what did they list? Like social justice, and then research again. It also provides an abstract. So what that is a brief description of what the essay is about. So if I just look at this, in this article, Binaya Subedi explores the multiple ways the idea of global is theorized within the school curriculum and suggests the utility of approaching the idea of global perspectives through decolonizing frameworks. Okay, that's sort of what I'm interested in. It tells you the number of pages, and then you have the entire article right here that you can read through. The other thing that I find really, it's kind of like the magic bullet of researching, is to look at the bottom and see, what did this person who wrote about a topic that I'm interested in, what did they read? Right? And this is all of her footnotes and citations. So she read an article about how do we teach about women of the world in teacher education. So if you think, oh, this article might be perfect for me, then you can go back and just search for that article all by itself without doing a big thematic search like we did before. So what happens as you're researching is that you slowly refine your searches until you're being much more targeted. Right? At the beginning, I'm searching for decolonizing in general, and then slowly I'll start seeing, oh, this person wrote about that. Maybe I'll just search for this author and see what other things they wrote. One person who comes up is this woman, Linda Tuhiwala Smith, whose work I've read a lot of already. So maybe my next search, I'll just search for her and see if there are articles that I can read. Okay, so the other thing you can do is you can download the PDF, right? And so this is what it looks like as a PDF, and you can read it in this way if you don't want to read it as an HTML document. So that way you can see exactly how it looked when it was published, if that's something you like to do. So for this assignment, what I'm asking you to do is find one source, one scholarly source, and then I'm asking you to write a 2 to 3 sentence summary of that source. So we've already done a summary assignment this semester, and so you're basically going to read through it and try to draw out the main ideas. Let's grab a new document here. And if you remember, in a summary, you have to include the who, what, where, when, how. So I might write, in the 2013 article, and then go back and look, decolonizing the curriculum for global perspectives, published in the Educational Theory Journal. Oh, wait, let's put her name in first. You make sure, of course, that you're spelling everything right. Binaya Subedi. She argues, and then, of course, the main idea. I'm going to have to read through the whole thing to get that. So here we have the when, the what, the who, the where, and then we have to get to the how, right? That is always the challenging part, is to be able to synthesize that down. So I'm going to want you to post your 2 to 3 sentence summary. It can also be a 1-sentence summary, as well as a citation. So what's great about these databases is that you can, it will spit out a citation for you that you can use in your Works Cited page. So since this is an English class, we'll be using the Modern Language Association or MLA format. And so all you'll have to do is copy that and then paste it into this below the summary, and you'll be all set. All right, let me know if you have any questions.